We got some meetings. No, you tell me. Tell me. Then.
Five 18. Today is 8/1/24, and we're ready to start Newark Housing Authority Commissioner Board meeting.
Reading of the Open Public Meetings Act, required by NJSA 10.436, known as the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice of this meeting was provided in the following manner on December 6, 2023. Notice of this meeting specifying the date, time, and location is transmitted to the Star Ledger Uso Americano and to the clerk of the city of Newark.
Okay, we get a prayer from the Reverend down there. What
God, we thank you, God, for bringing us together tonight. We ask that you allow us to do your business, our children, us to keep us in the hollows of their hand. In Jesus' name, we pray.
Amen. Amen.
Pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Commissioner Carter. Commissioner Council.
Present.
Commissioner Washington.
Present.
Commissioner Hop.
Present.
Chairman Logan.
Present.
In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, New Jersey State NJSA 10.1, the Housing Authority of the City of Newark opens every public comments of the public. Each person choosing to speak needs to be limited to 5 minutes to speak on any subject on or off the event. All speakers must state their name and address for the record. However, in accordance with NJSA 10.4-12, nothing in the act shall construe to limit the discretion of a public body to permit, prohibit, or regulate active participation at any meeting. Therefore, please be advised that the Housing Authority do not entertain any comments from persons who communicate obscene material and statements which are considered biased information in which a person intimidating, individual or race, color, religion, gender, and sex, grade, or ethnicity, or make comments in political class or speak in English. The person who makes these statements will relinquish their allotted 5 minutes for public discussion. Any person who resists this out of turn or incorrect is in order of whom is very helpful. The first speaker this evening is Felicia Austin Singh.
Is she here?
She's not here.
Not appearing.
Ms. Kim Burns.
Here.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, Executive Director, Deputy Executive Director, Commissioners, and guests. Tonight, I want to draw your attention to a pressing issue, accountability for both residents and NHA. The lack of updates on this agency's transparency is not just a bureaucratic matter, it's affecting our community, especially with the discontinuation of our recreation programs. The decision on the next program is a chance to empower our youth to contribute to the community. The issue with Section 8 personnel is urgent. They continue to be unresponsive, have rude behavior, and lack timely communication. The answer machine promised a call back within 24 hours, which is often not fulfilled. This is a significant problem, as residents may require immediate assistance. No disrespect to the tenant commissioner. When are the tenant residents to engage with you to discuss the issues and concerns of the residents to be brought before the ED and the commissioners? The communications of flyers is being communicated to TAs, not on a timely manner to circulate residents for events. As an example, for the book bag event that took place at the Boys and Girls Club, I did not receive that event flyer until 11:16 yesterday. Yeah, it was a book bag event at the Boys Club. The Mayor Raspberry Baraka. But they just did because Pat Cavello sent the flyer, but I didn't receive the flyer until 11:16. In order for me to print out these flyers, it needs to be on a timely manner. I discussed this with client services before. Stop sending me flyers the day before, the day of, or the day after. This is not fair to the residents, and we can't get it out to these residents. I'm not going to be running all around the complex or have my board members running around trying to get people to an event that's happening that same day. That's unacceptable. And that's all I have for tonight. Mhm.
Myrna Brown.
Here.
Can I get a 2 minutes and 40 seconds?
She left.
I hear that.
Good evening, everybody. Ms. Myrna Brown. I don't have too much to say, but I just want to comment on the one on the, sorry about that, resident questions and answers. On number 5, I just want to make a little clarification. What he was talking about while we were saying Section 8 being made and cool to residents. It's not that we want to know what your actions is to them, and they have unions and all that. What we're talking about is that if I come into that office, the attitude that some of the people give people, it can be cruel. And once again, I say they could be going through something, person can go through something. But we need to understand those voucher holders that's dealing with these landlords out here, the things that they're doing. It will bring somebody in here to have attitude. Because I need some kind of answer what to do. You say you can't do this, but you do this for this one and that one. Let's stop playing favoritism. And I'm saying it because I know what I'm saying. It's not publicly, I'm gonna put it out, but we're playing favoritism. If you play it, you don't show it. If you're gonna do that. Not when you're doing that with people's lives. These vouchers is very serious to people. Nobody wants to be homeless. We all a paycheck away, a welfare check away. We can all be homeless on the street and we can all gashed up under a tent trying to help feed one another. So don't put yourself on a pedestal to someone else. And if they don't want to work here and help the residents, that's what it's supposed to be. We're a community. Then we need to let some of them go. I'm sorry. I mean, it's up to you what I see, but we're not being treated right on both ends. And I'm a community person. I'm an activist on both. I help whoever it is. You don't have to be in housing for me to help you. But it's three types of people you have in here. You got people from round the way, you got people that's in the way, and you got people that want to make progress. So that's the way I see now, and we got to do something about it. It's not fair to nobody, and we don't have questions. It's a question that people have with vouchers. We should be going in and ask them, what do I do with this? Oh, who this? Who that? Oh, we that. I understand the HEPA law, you're saying somebody. I'm not talking about nobody's business. I'm talking in general. They are rude. They are very rude. And I'm not gonna call no names, but they're aware of it. If the shoe fits, you wear it. You're doing. And I'm really getting tired of it. Don't get mad because what I do. That's me. That's what God put me in, and I'm gonna do it. I want to help the people. Help us be decent and live comfortably like everybody else. You go home to a comfortable house. We want to. We don't want with the landlord that got a water leak and we can't do nothing. I got rats running, and you talking about, well, what you gonna do? It ain't my problem. If y'all don't mess with the landlord, we just need some kind of direction or system. If you can, go ahead. You need to listen to what you, then somebody else know where else to go. Thank you.
Thank you. Patience Roberts. Oh. Deborah Salters.
That'd be me.
Good evening, everyone. Deborah Salter, City of Newark, Warrior for the People. So again, thank you for the contractors that you all approved the last meeting. The questions that are being asked to me is, I know that Stephen Crane was the most, I guess, in need at the time. So I don't know if both contractors are at that one site working that were approved. Because I'm being asked, okay, so if you all dispatch the contractors, why are they not in more than just that one place? I don't know the answers. That's why I'm here. I know Janice Gomer, the questions were because they were being told that it was sold to, I forget which development company, and I asked last time if any of your properties were sold, or low to moderate income housings. And if they were, who were they sold to? If not, why were they not being renovated? And you put the contractors out. So Janice Gomer is, you did put the receptacles over there. They did come and put the garbage cans in the way back area. That's the one on Broadway and the back street. But a lot of those are still open, and people are doing whatever in the abandos. Even lights are on in some of them and things like that. So um, the questions are, what is being done with that, right? And then if we own the land, like Baxter Terrace and other places where the true affordable housing has been torn down, they were like, well, if we own it, then why can't we put a trailer on it? Since rent is so high, we're not building housing on it. So why can't people put housing on there? Why can't we put a trailer there to live there? And so these are the questions that are being asked. If the housing authority, who's the largest landowner, owns this land, it's public land, why are we not doing what we can do to put our people on it, low to moderate income, right? Because what's being built and called affordable is not affordable. You have to make 80,000 and up to live in it. But that's what's being called affordable today, right? So affordable for whom? Affordable for New Yorkers and everyone that comes from everywhere else, where they're paying 5.6 million for a rent for a loft for a month, or 3,000 for a one bedroom. They come here and get a deal. You know what I'm saying? So it's affordable for them, but it's not affordable for the average New Yorker whose area median income is $16,000 to $36,000 a year, right? So we're talking about those of us who have been here, who are here when nothing else was here, who have children. So affordable means so people have a psyche about affordable, right? I don't know what they're thinking. You're throwing beer cans or something. No, affordable means that you can afford, you're able to live, pay your rent, buy your food, pay your bills. You have children, you can take care of your children. You all know many of us have grown up in low to moderate income housing from youth till now, and people have forgotten that apparently because clearly it's not in the minds of those who are making these deals, right? We know the council, city council has made developments, yes, yes, yes to everything, but it's creating homelessness for our people. So thank you for dispatching the contractors. But the questions are, where are they being dispatched next? Are they all at one location? Stephen Crane, when Janice Gomer needs it. I mean, we're dealing with rodents and all types of things, right? So that is the question. What is being done with the development? Where are they going next? How are you deciding who's getting renovated? Which low to moderate income development is being renovated next? What is your process? What is the thought about it? You know, and then I did have a question. Why did y'all reschedule this meeting first on the 24th? It was supposed to be the 25th. We got a day's warning. So I hope it was an emergency, right? That was a question. So I asked the person who emailed me, why did it change? She said, well, that was the will of the commissioner. So that was a question from me to you all, because there are those of us who make arrangements to do this, right? And then we have to make another arrangement to come back another time, right? But that's my question. The people want to know with the renovations. We thank you, number one, and then what's your process in making it happen? Who's next, right?
Thank you, Ms. Cole.
Ms. Walker?
Fair.
Can I start now?
Yes.
My name is Venus Walker. I reside at Pennington. I'm here today because accountability. So management, once again, every time I come here, I state the same things, and I have given paperwork to you guys as well. Management and maintenance has not taken accountability. And after my grievance meeting, which I was supposed to be entitled to a second one, no one has contacted me about that. We came up with some ideas and some agreements that everyone is cooperating me with. But yet everyone wants me to keep giving them more information that I keep giving them, as well as I give it to you guys. My problem is the reason why I'm here and I keep coming to these meetings is because when I first reached out for services from management and maintenance, I was denied. So I was denied of everything that I put in bold on papers that I gave them as well as you guys, the mold, the water damage, my windows. I have videos and recordings of the same maintenance people who, once again, I feel uncomfortable with the men coming into my home. There's some things that occurred that I made clear about how the men behave, how they act, and the stench of them. I said, I will not allow that. I am not here for that. They cannot come no more in my home. So once I made that clear with management, they keep telling me I'm not cooperating. No, I've been cooperating. They're not cooperating. They're still forcing me. The other day, a manager barged into my home after I emailed her and I spoke to her and I said, I'm uncomfortable with this because this is not what we agreed to in the grievance. The things that we agreed to in the grievance, which my recording, all of a sudden the lady doesn't work with them within 2 weeks. She no longer works with you guys. I explained to them that, you know, you guys have to retrieve that. According to the grievance, everything I follow by NHA rules. No one, as far as Nicholas Walker, I will not. Natalie Sharp, I will not. Other managements that I name up there, Crystal and everyone else, I will not because they make me feel unsafe. I have given multiple papers. They lied to me on multiple occasions, and I've explained that. They keep talking about when I say it's not a habitable place to live in, the environment, it's not. Pennington on the inside and the outside is not great to live in. It's from the drug violence to the drug paraphernalia. I keep explaining that. That goes on every single day. What I What I am upset with and what's bothering me is the lack of cooperation. They're not cooperating with me. How much time? Okay, I have 2 minutes left. They're not cooperating with me. And every time I email them, they're asking me for more information. My main concern is my paperwork. My paperwork has been altered. When I sent in my paperwork, I sent it a certain way. By law, you're not supposed to alter someone's paperwork. I explained that to a commissioner woman I spoke to. She said she claimed I have a problem with people claiming things that they're not. I have people saying they're public safety, been lying to me for a year, receiving my confidential paperwork. I have people saying that they're this, they're not. Who is who? I don't know. I've spoken to over 12 people about my issue. Okay. When I say my safety is my main concern, when that manager crossed that out, that's telling me my safety is no concern for you guys. It doesn't matter. By law, she wasn't supposed to do that. So until I feel safe enough that I can give you guys my paperwork, I can get management, I can know that things were given to you guys in a timely manner and professionally, I'm not going to work. You can't force me. I've been forced. I had video. She came into my home. She's looking all through she's not looking at nothing that I put in bold about the water damage, the mold, the windows, nothing. I already explained to her I will not cooperate because you guys are not following through what we said at the grievance meeting. Where's the videos? Where's the paperwork that I put in bold stating what's going on with me? So this is what I decided I'm going to do. Moving forward at the next meetings as I come, I will be forming a virtual protest. We will go from virtual to physical. I will rally up people as I'm taught from my other peers that I work with and my other scholars, and we will continue to find out what's the issue because this makes no sense. I should be able to trust management. I should be able to trust maintenance. I should be able to trust general managers. When you guys tell me who you are, please be that. Because when I say I'm Venus D. Walker, that's who I am. No one else. No one else. And when I look at you guys' faces, it hurts me because respectfully, my ancestors will be insulted. I'm not understanding. I come here, I get multiple paperwork. I didn't cause any drama. I still don't. I just don't know. But I'm not going to be helped by people who lied to me. People who I asked for services and you denied me. You said there's no more because when you came in, and I said, okay, well, respectfully, I don't have an contractor license. I've done this since high school. It's these buildings has been here since 1941. You guys are reconstructing everything else, but the ones that's been here since 41 need to be reconstructed. But that's all I have to say. Have a good day. Yes. I would say visit at night because that's when you really see things. You know, you see it during the day doing management around. I would say 8 until 1 in the morning. That's when things are active. That's when you really see how penning in is being captured. Thank you.
Two.
Did Jack people show?
No, she told me she was close, but she's not here.
Good evening. As the process we've started is after we have public comment, I'll typically come up to try to address some items high level. Um, I'm reading through my notes as I kind of go through here. Housing Authority is a department of the city. I've said that a few times. We're not an agency within the city. We are an independent entity that works in collaboration with the city, like we work in collaboration with the county. Therefore, we do not have control over when information is sent to us. As some of you are aware, we had a job fair earlier this week, which we had over 1,100 people register for. At that job fair, reporters from the city showed up, as well as one of the vans from the city's Department of Public Works showed up. They didn't ask us. They didn't tell us ahead of time. They said, "Hey, we heard you were having something. We thought we could be of assistance. There may be some job training that we can provide to some people. There may be some jobs that we have available that if you all don't find these people qualified, we may find them qualified." So in looking to ensure that Newarkers have jobs, we said, by all means, if you need a table, we'll get you a table. If you want to be a curbside, they come up and apply to you or work with you. By all means, we'll direct them to you. But that's just a anecdotal example of how we get information. So when we get flyers, when we get information, we disseminate it. We do not have control over when that information from the city, the county comes to us. When we get it, we give it. once again, we are not part of them. We work in collaboration with them. So if we get it the last minute, then we give it the last minute. That is not a reflection of us or how we feel towards our residents. It's just when we get the information, we try to get it out. It's really just that simple. Um, we can all admit, and we've had these conversations since I've been here, that there's a need for us, and I say us in HA, to improve customer service, whether that's at our sites, whether it's here at 500, whether it's our public housing department, whether it's our housing choice voucher departments, whether it's the various auxiliaries departments, whether it's HR, procurement, finance, etc. That is an ongoing thing that we have and are continuing to work on. It's part of our comprehensive train for the agency in September. We have 2 courses that all our employees will be attending. There's another one in October for supervisors and managers that they all will be attending. So what we are doing here is giving opportunities for individuals to be trained so they can provide that customer service, so they can be accountable supervisors and managers. And then we will take the necessary steps if they are not comporting to the culture that we are trying to change and that we are trying to establish here at the Housing Authority. But first thing we do is give people the opportunities to meet the moment. And if they can't meet the moment, they will take the necessary corrective action. Um, we own, and I'm going to say it differently. Newark Housing Authority holds the property, holds all federal assets in trust. They are not our properties. We hold, the federal government gives us these properties to administer, and we hold trust. Therefore, anytime we decide to deviate, we decide we're going to put affordable housing, if we're going to put commercial housing, commercial housing, if we're going to put a commercial retail business on a public housing property, we have to go back to the federal government to say, hey, you gave us this property to do one thing, and we're going to do something. We're proposing to do something different. So we then have to go back to them and ask for their permission. It's not ours. We hold it in trust, right? Therefore, with Baxter, it is a property that, as most of you all would know, was torn down close to 20 years ago. As commissioners are aware, we signed a resolution to sell the property more than 3 years ago. We are continuing down that road to sell the property. It has already gone through, or we're currently working with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development to get them to approve off on the sale, ensuring that the property is still used for housing. What that looks like is really going to be up to the owner, but we then take the money that we receive from that asset to create more affordable housing. When we at the Newark Housing Authority say affordable housing, our target population is 0 to 30% of the adjusted median income, right? So that's typically for families, depending on how many people in your family, you're making less than $48,000 a year. That's the target population that we serve. We did have a resolution a number of months ago as it related to the vacant unit complex. So we have 2 vendors that are turning units. And we said in that resolution, and I've said since then, that they are working on our senior developments. Period. Full stop. No family units. Right. Um, that's what we said. That's what you all voted on. That's what they're doing. Actually, they have 256 units, and they will have 125 of those units ready to turn over to us August 31st, which means come September, we're able to start housing at least 125 more families. Right now, as I've said as well, every year we get capital fund, which is $23 million, which we get for the entire agency, not for one particular asset, right? We talked about that last month. What we will look at this year is how do we allocate a portion of that 23 million to reinvest in our family properties. So in 2025, late 2024, you will start to see another resolution that we bring to the board asking for a pot of money that we're going to set aside to turn our family properties. So in late 2024, 2025, you'll start to see movement on our family properties. Which ones? I will wait to discuss that to when we get to the resolution. But we first started with the senior properties, honestly, because they're cheaper and they're faster to turn. And now townhouses, 3-4 bedroom units take longer, they're more expensive. So we have to build in a larger time frame as well as more money to get those handled, right? We are a public agency that the commissioners serve on voluntarily. You do not get compensated for this role. Therefore, business cannot be done without a quorum, which is at least 4 commissioners. So in the event that it does not appear that we will have at least 4 commissioners present, because you all have your own professional lives, you also have your own personal lives. If we are not able to have a quorum, we reschedule meetings. It's simple as that. As the secretary to the board, typically the executive office reaches out to you all the week of to poll. And if we do not feel we're going to have a quorum, then we're not having people sit here till 5:30, 5:45, 6 o'clock to then say, we don't have a quorum, we can't have a meeting, thank you for coming out, right? So we reschedule the meeting in accordance with the state guidance. Um, in my 20 plus years in housing, what I have learned is you're never going to be able to please everyone all the time. You have to do the best job you can for as many people as you can, understanding that every day is not going to be the perfect day. We are always going to have residents and tenants that are not satisfied with the level of service, that are not satisfied with the answers that we provide, that are not satisfied with the rules and the regulations that we have to abide by. As I inform everyone and continue to remind everyone, their lease is month to month. Provided you give us 30 days notice at any point in time, you can vacate the premises. But if you choose to stay, there is a lease. And in that lease, it clearly states when we can enter the unit because it is ours and not yours. It is not your private home. When you sign the lease, you agree to certain terms, and it is our job to ensure that those terms are being met. We just don't have the capability to move people around depending on the situation. Each one of you have sat in these chairs for a significant period of time, and we can honestly say, if we go back a year or two, if we were to try to move people around based on people's interaction, we probably wouldn't have many people in our occupancy department or our HCV department, because at some point in time, there's been someone that had a problem with every single person in that office. What we say is, this is what we are going to do for everyone. And we try our best to do that to ensure that we are abiding with the lease and with the statutory requirements that we have. When that fails, the remedy for anyone is a court of law. And everyone is willing and able to take that method if they so choose. But we are going to do the same thing for every single property, for every single resident, for every single participant in accordance with the ACOP, admission and continued occupancy policy, the HCV administrative plan, the lease, and the house rules. It's for us, it's really that simple, right? But to kind of segue, I did want to make sure everyone was aware, specifically the board, that we were awarded for the safety and security grant, which is $250,000, which we are working to expend now, to obligate and to expend. We have applied for a lead-based paint grant, which allows us to remediate any lead-based paint that we find at our properties. We applied for $7.4 million for that grant. We also applied for a housing related hazards grant. So for some of these trip hazards, for some of the various hazards that individuals today have pointed out, we applied for a $5 million grant from HUD to remediate those, as well as there's an at-risk notice of funding opportunity, which is just any housing authority that is in receivership, troubled, or substandard, says, hey, if you identify 1 or 2 properties, we will give you money to make the units ready to make the property habitable. So we applied for that grant as well. Now it's for $7.2 million. So we expect to hear back from the federal government before the close of 2024 on if we get awarded for those grants and how much for those grants we get awarded. Total, that's $19.6 million that we have asked the federal government to give us to invest into our units to bring them up to more either better conditions or to house families because the units are not in habitable condition. Um, We requested from our local field office to put 256 units in undergoing modernization, which are the units that the contractors are working in. That was approved, which means we are able to collect subsidy for those units while the work is being done. 125 of those units we expect to get back at the end of this month, according to the vendor's projections. And as we are going through them to certify that the work has been done. So again, in September, that gives us an opportunity to start housing more families. We had a public comment period that recently closed for the Choice Mobility, which was part of the RAD program to begin with, but it wasn't effectuated within our policies. Uh, Choice Mobility allows individuals that have been at a RAD property to request a housing choice voucher after you have been there for at least 1 year. Our policies did not allow us to effectuate that. So we had to go back to change the policy to then allow us to do it. We have done that. So shortly, provided that resolution passes this evening, shortly we will be able to start reaching out to our RAD residents to find out who would like a voucher and to start working on that process for the families that would be interested in a voucher. We continue to meet with the resident advisory board on monthly, so it's always the last Wednesday of every month from 6 to 8. We met with them last month, man. And we were able to successfully submit our unaudited, which is the first step to ensuring that the audit is complete. It was due by 7:30, and we turned it in at on 7:30, so we got it in on time. The next marker or mile marker for the financials is 9:30, which is the audit. So last year we had a little trouble getting the audit in on time, which resulted in a zero. Right now we are on target to get the audit in by 9:30. And as that progresses, I will give you all monthly updates. And as our CFO has said, come hook or crook, we're going to get that in on time. Uh, and we'll make sure that it's accurate so that everyone has a clearer picture of what the financials are of the agency, so we can then talk about the things we would like to do once we realize that we're able to meet our current financial obligations. That concludes my report for you this afternoon. I turned it over to you. I turned it over to the chair. There's some questions I see.
Thank you. So, okay, the RAD. I believe, I'm not sure, because I count the months, so when I tell people, I make sure I go to the last Wednesday, because there are some months that there's 5 weeks, so that could be, confusing.
Okay.
Okay, something else. The 125 units that will be ready August 31st. When will the rest of those be ready?
So all contractors had 120 days to make the units ready. So they should all be ready by mid-November, within 120 days from when you all approved resolution, give or take a day. But so they're significantly ahead of schedule.
Last week, was that change posted appropriate places, so that people would know that it was changed to August 1st?
Yes. So in accordance with our bylaws, all notices went out to the papers at least 72 hours so they could be published to notify people that the meeting was being changed.
Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Council?
Yeah. Give us information. We're like 5 months out now from finishing up this budget year.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give us a summation of the health estate of the housing authority from where we were last year at this period?
A summation. Okay. I would say last year we did not have clear visibility of where all our liabilities were, where the money was flowing, and how much the bottom line was. This year we know those. So we have a strong financial team in place this year that has been able to ensure that we are closing on a monthly basis. So we have an idea month to month what bills are not being paid, how much is being expended, how much is coming in, which is different than we have done before. We have, as you all are aware, we still have BDO still working through a lot of the outstanding items that have existed for a number of years that weren't closed out, that it takes time to now close them out. But part of that, it gives us an idea of what's left, what's right, the money that's there. Can we spend it? Can we not spend it? Do I need to hold it because the federal government's going to tap me on the shoulder and ask for the money back? Right. So that process is ongoing, but every month we're finding out new information that allows us to better forecast. So what we have done from now to then is put adequate controls in place, to put adequate staff in the right chairs to make sure things are flowing, to engage with our vendors to make sure bills are getting paid, which collectively is allowing us to have a much better picture of what the true financial liabilities and status of the agency is, which is a lot better than what we have thought it was historically. Mhm. It was. I don't have the numbers in front of me. Those were provided to me. I apologize. I see Ms. Motley's pulling it up though. Uh, I do know we had over 300 people that actually showed up. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. 244 that actually showed up, and yeah. Any other questions? Okay.
In terms of these grants that you put up, what's the likelihood of doing these grants coming in? As projected, you can get 19 million.
Mhm.
Because of operating this year. What was it projected? Was it prognosed?
So I'm not going to lie to you. To a degree, it's a crapshoot. We follow the guidance that they provide us very closely to make sure that we're giving them exactly what they want to get awarded the amount of money that we're asking for. The reality is we never know um, how many other housing authorities are going to apply. And if NYCHA, New York City Housing Authority, is going to apply. Because historically, if NYCHA applies, they get a bigger slice of the pie, and then the rest of the country gets what's left over. So without knowing who else applied, it's hard to say what is our likelihood of success and how much we'll get. I feel confident that we will get something. I just don't know how much that will be.
Pennington Court is running off the hook. What do we do?
So I would have Director Lee come up to talk about the security if he's here. I can't see him with the wall in front. Okay, have you come up? Um, but I do know anecdotally that we do have armed guards that are there that are off-duty police officers. There is a unit from Newark Police Department that is also stationed there 24 hours a day. But I'm going to let Director Lee give you more of the details on the security of Pennington.
How's it going, Mr. President? Yeah, just like you said, the Newark PD is covering it, and we're covering it. We cover it 4 to 12. Newark PD covers it 24 hours a day.
Are we doing vertical?
Yes, they make sure the hallways are cleared. We do get complaints about squatters inside the hallways and the drug dealing, but we do clear the hallways and we log it. And I have SOC monitored when it's logged, so we have documentation that we're covering it. The hallways and the people that we move, we do the stop reports and we log it on our log. So there's some complaints about the people parking in the parking lot, pulling the cars in. That's a big complaint. Periodically, you did have some violence, but that's why the Newark PD is there 24 hours a day, so they are covering it. I think Ms. Walker was talking about some other kind of complaints. I'm not sure if it's just security. And I did speak with her as well. I spoke with Ms. Walker.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I see Ms. Peoples walked into the room, it was very hot outside, she came in sweating. So we're gonna give her a 5 minutes just because she thought it not robbery to make those people here. Ms. Peoples to come up. Sorry, Ms. Peoples.
Just give me a second, please.
You overwhelm me here. Only because I got eyes for you. You beat me up in the 9th grade.
Jesus. Well, I'll start with, I think I signed up because it was a trash problem. But let me first ask this question. What are your plans? First and foremost, Father, I ask for forgiveness of sins, known and unknown. I ask that you visit city officials, leaders in this city in the name of Jesus, so that they may do right by the people in the name of Jesus. Father, we know that you have put parameters in place to help each and every person. So we thank you, Father. And I thank you in advance that you will visit leaders of this city in the name of Jesus upon their beds. In Jesus' name, amen. Now, I sent first and foremost, I want to ask, what is your plans for Janice Cromer? Second, I signed up because you have a trash problem in the city and housing authority. But I see you purchased some new garbage cans. But I don't get paid a stipend to come down here or dial up, whatever, dial up, call up, or contact people and remove trash because Kadeem, Dean, Kareem Adeem, Lord Jesus, Kareem Adeem is being commended for a well done job removing trash in the areas, and that's a lot. I had to tell Gonzalez where it was at. Now, maybe it looks good to him, but I'm not on fencing now. Now, you need to take care of the trash on a regular basis. I need to know what you plan on doing with Janice Cromer. And I need to be paid for my services because I really didn't want to come down here tonight. I really didn't. You know, I get tired of talking about the same things. And frankly, you guys really don't want me. I explained to you the last meeting some of the challenges I had in housing authority, specifically with Mr. Mena falling through the steps. I have a history. You understand? I've been through a lot in housing authority. They never wanted a president over in that area, and if you're a president, it has to be okay by people down here. So I really don't know what to say because I already told you, you're not building housing. You haven't built housing. You're begging the federal government for more money, and there's no accountability in the city. What happened to the monies that was allotted in the past, even before this man took seat, or even when Cory Booker was in office? He ought to be ashamed of himself. And that's how I feel about it. I don't really have much to say. He owes me an apology because I done went downtown many times and told Pat Council and the rest of them, they don't live like this. They don't live like this. And the Jews don't live like this, the Italians, and any other group of people. If you go out here, I don't know if you're from the area, Mr. Spicer, but if you take a right and ride about 2.5 miles, housing authority is there. They put those people in their house. Straight down over the bridge. There's 66 housing authorities in the state of New Jersey, and probably more. That's what's listed. So I don't know what you guys are doing. I really don't. Yeah, Mrs. Motley, that's about it. I'm trying to keep my composure. And that's about it, Chairman Logan. I'm just not a firecracker tonight, but I can be. Thank you.
Board transfers. Questions regarding the transfer?
No questions regarding the transfer.
Motion moved.
Motion moved.
Second.
Second.
Commissioner Council,
Yes.
Commissioner Washington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hawk,
Yes.
Chairman Luke.
Yes.
Move on to the May 2024 board minutes.
Motion moved.
Commissioner Council,
Yes.
Commissioner Washington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hawk, Chairman Luke.
Yes.
First resolution, HCEP 24-5-07-01. That the Newark House of Great Board of Commissioners authorize the executive director to extend existing project-based voucher housing assistance contracts for Montgomery Heights apartments and lot properties in accordance with the federal regulations for 3.205 and those 2017-21 and affordable housing for low maintenance.
Move. Second.
Commissioner Happily,
Yes.
Commissioner Washington, Commissioner Chairman.
Yes.
HCBP 4-25-07. Resolution of the Newark House of Commissioners to approve the proposed changes plan to be incorporated into the annual submission. So you're,
Motion moved.
Commissioner Thompson,
Yes.
Commissioner Washington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopkins, yes, Chairman Logan.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. On down the list, HCDP 4-25-07-03. Newark House of Great Board of Commissioners authorize and approve the executive director to increase housing per unit to 100% of HUD issued fair market rent subject after March, effective October 1st, 2024.
Yeah. A second.
Commissioner Council,
Yes.
Commissioner Washington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopper. Yes. Chairman Logan.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. CRPT 2-2-07. Resolution that the House Board of Commissioners authorize the executive director of work to execute documents between but not limited part of the corporation organizational resolution for the trustees and bylaws for the fee, which will be non-profit development entity for.
Move it.
Second. The council. Commissioner Wolf. Yes. Commissioner Hopper. Yes. Chairman Cole.
Yes.
That concludes all the resolutions for this.
Make a motion to adjourn.
The council.
Yes.
Commissioner Wolf. Commissioner Hopper. Yes. Chairman Wolf.
Yes.
6-0.